In this presentation, we're going to look at the law of cosines, which is another useful tool to find sides and angles of non-right angle triangles when you're given some information. The law of cosines has three formulae, which are in terms of A, B, and C, as you see written here. You just have to remember the pattern that you see in these three formulae. So let's look for that pattern. The first formula reads a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. The pattern seems to be you have an a, bc, then repeat bc, and a at the end. Similarly, when you write it in terms of b squared, the formula begins with b, then you have ac, ac, and b at the end. Similarly, c, ab, ab, c. So these three formulae are simply rotations of A, B, C with the pattern that you can see here. Let's try an actual problem with this. In this non-right angled triangle, you're given two sides and an included angle. You're asked to find C. So let's write what we're given and then apply the formula. In this formula, we need to find C, and so we'll use the expression that begins with C. So that's the third formula. Plugging in all the terms and taking the square root at the end, you get the value as 6.67. Here's a problem that you can try. You may pause the video at this point and try the problem before you go on to the solution. So hopefully you tried the problem out, and let's discuss the solution. It's important that you write what's given and what is to be found. In this case, you're given the angle and two sides, which are on either side of that angle, and you're asked to find A. Once again, use the formula that's appropriate to what you need to find, which is in terms of A. Plug in all the terms, take the square root at the end as required, and find the value of A. Here's another example. In this case, you're given three sides, but no angle, and you're asked to find an angle. You can still apply the law of cosines. Let's write what's given and what's to be found. Let's use the expression that contains the angle that you want to find. In this case, C. So we begin and end the formula with C. Plug in all the terms. Simplify carefully. Remember to use PEMDAS. So this term, minus 90 cos C, cannot be taken with 25 because you need to simplify the multiplied term first and then only use it with other added terms. So if you do it correctly, then you can perform the inverse cos operation to get the angle. Now, here's another problem of the same kind. You can pause the video at this point and try the problem yourself before looking at the solution. So here is the solution. Write what's given, and this time you need to find angle A. So let's use the formula that begins and ends with A. Plug in all the terms. Be careful when simplifying. Note that we left the minus 374 cos A until the end when you divided it out to isolate A, which becomes 34.02 degrees. So, when do you use the law of cosines? There are two situations when you use them. Firstly, when the third side of a triangle is needed to be found and you know two sides and the angle between them, like in example 1. Secondly, to find the angles of the triangle, one or more, when you know all three sides. If you remember, When you need to use the law of cosines, it will help you in selecting the right tool to solve the problem. For homework, try exercise 10G, numbers 1, 2, and 3.